I'm gonna move into something a little bit more personal, man. And so how has being a husband and father changed you?
Well, you know, I think mostly just of my own longevity has been
Right.
like I've like done a lot of stuff where I don't say I've almost died a lot, but I've almost died a lot.
Hmm.
And by just like being a little too crazy, like I used to
Okay.
have a real affinity to jumping off cliffs into like water from very high up.
Mm.
And some of the stuff I've done is like, I don't think I'd do that again, like,
Right.
some of those kind of things, and I mean, even on the tour with you, I almost got ran over by Sarge, and almost died that night. It was like we're smoking in between the
Right. The bus.
bus
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
trailer. That was like
Yeah.
our office,
Right.
because we were, weren't allowed to do on the bus or whatever. And so like that fucking dude popped the fucking into neutral without turning
Yeah.
the fucking bus on to like move up a few feet
Mm.
and about squashed me like a fucking bug.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
it's
Wow.
really close. I was like,
Yeah.
oof. But I've had a couple close calls with that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all good. The main thing like is just I come home at the end of these fucking tours. I come home.
Yeah.
Come home. I don't want to leave my wife to have to raise my kids because I did something
I
or something
got you.
happened to me.
Got you.
So that's my biggest thing I think with that. But responsibility, of course,
Hmm.
like it's one thing for me to like go without a meal. It's another thing to like have my kids go out and a meal is a
Right.
whole other thing.
Yeah.
I never went really without a meal growing up. My dad always made sure there was food no matter what he had to fucking
Yes.
do.
Yes.
And so I always do that too. So like I'm just a little more mature. I'm
Yeah.
older,
I
I'm a
got
little
you.
more mature than I
Yeah.
was. But the main thing is I just take a little bit less of the craziest risks. But I still
Well,
like to have a good fucking time.
of course. Well,
Yeah.
hey, beautiful wife, beautiful children, man. And
Thanks.
once again, I applaud you. Now,
Thank you.
I want to tell you something, man. I
Please.
want to say that one of the greatest moments of my life, and I know you kind of probably know where I'm going. I mean that. I won't get too emotional because I'll get emotional. But one of the greatest moments of my life was when, you asked me to be the officiant of your wedding, man. And
Yeah. That was
and
really
with your
special.
beautiful wife, and man, so sometimes I'll pop out there and go look at it, and I took it so seriously because it
Yeah.
was such a serious thing to me.
You are an ordained minister. The
And it was one of the most incredible moments of my
Reverend
life,
Lord Nelson,
man.
actually. Yeah. The full title is the
Hey,
Reverend
man,
Lord Nelson.
I just want to let you know, man. I thank you for that. I was more than honored.
Oh,
Um,
we thank
and
you. We wouldn't have had it any other way. My wife feels the same way as I do. And when we just thought about who would officiate, be the officiant for our wedding, I thought of you, and it was like, I have to find a way to get him to come out here to
oh
California and
man,
do this.
man, oh
And
man,
so thank you for taking time off of work and your own family and
oh man.
flying all the way fucking out here and, dealing with us and all that.
It wasn't no dealing, man. It was all family to
It
me, man.
wouldn't
I'm
have
telling
been,
you.
it wouldn't have been the same without you. And, it's very,
Great.
very special.
Listen, I got chills right now because I'm just thinking about everything. It was so wonderful. Everything was
Yeah.
so beautiful. It
That was
really was,
great.
man.
Yeah. Well, it's
Hey,
an amazing time and
man,
so, so special.
man,
Can you believe it's going to be fucking 10 years in
this
October?
is bananas.
That's
10
crazy.
years and two babies, two
Yeah.
children, man.
Like,
It's like,
whoa.
wow, man. Yeah, man, life has changed. And that's why I asked the question about, being a husband and father
Yeah.
changed, man, because it has. Wow,
Yeah.
man, from being, this here and thinking about the wildness of touring in Berlin and all kinds of other stuff we
Right.
don't won't talk about
Yeah.
where the bodies are buried. But it's like
Yeah. They're there. There's some out there, but man, it's funny. The kids like they don't respect my, like they don't fucking know. Like they don't. They're like they call my music jibber jabber. They're like oh, rah, rah, jibber jabber and stuff. Like I'm like people pay money to fucking see your
that's
dad,
right.
and
That's
they're like,
right.
yeah, right.
That's it.
Like look at this fucking guy. You
They
know,
won't get it till they're older, man. They
it
won't
keeps your ego in check when your kids
yes,
like straight
100%.
slap you right down to reality. They're like, your band's not that good. Like, you're all right. Like,
Oh my goodness,
it's
man.
funny, dude. But at the same time, like they do acknowledge some of my skills with it.
Yeah.
Like my son was saying, I was singing along to this Nevermore song just to practice. I like to sing when I can, just to
Right.
because instrument.
Of course.
So he actually said something like, "That you sing really well, Dad." Like said something nice. I was like, "Oh, that's cool," But usually they're like, fucking, like whatever, But I'm not pushing them, to make,
Right.
like I'm not the type of dad like put your Bengals hat on and your fucking
Right,
shirt,
right,
you
right.
have to do what Dad likes, They'll find their way,
They'll find their way.
Right now,
100%.
they're really getting. We're going to do BMX. There's a really, really cool. In Napa, our little town has like it's the only one in the whole area, like with hundreds of miles, but it has like a legit BMX track.
Love
And
BMX.
so they do kids stuff. So we got them signed up, and so they're going to start that next week. So I think it'll be really cool. But yeah, we're trying to do, keep them busy, show them the world, and
awesome. Man. You guys are definitely doing that, man. There's no doubt. So you being such a busy and successful young man, and you're definitely that. What's presently calling your name? Is there anything new that's calling you? Because I know you do the fruit and grafting and all that stuff like that. We could go into that deeply, but not. But yeah,
it's a lot. Yeah, I don't know, man. Life's short, and like my life's maybe half over, or whatever. Like I have so many interests, and I just haven't like. I'm not going to have enough time in this life to do all the things I want to do. Yeah. I'm learning that now. But that's okay. That's, maybe people come, I don't know, if the reincarnation is real or not, but maybe that's what happens to people. Maybe it's not, I'm not sure. Right. I don't actually know for sure, but, and I do feel like some people have been here before. I'm sure you've got that vibe, right? My son's like, I think my son's lived in the 80s already. He's like, not scared of shit. He's like, I've already done this before. But, he actually, that's a whole other thing. But like, it's wild, I don't know, man. It's been a trip, It's been a trip. I like to do a lot of different things, and I don't feel my life is full unless I try to do all the things I'm interested in. Yes. The one thing that, the fault side of that is some things could be half-assed because I'm doing 30 things. What did it say? Like you're the jack of all trades, but the master of none.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily feel like that, but like, and I actually try to be good at everything I do. Like I can play guitar pretty well. I can do this pretty well. I can do. I don't fuck with the stuff that I have no chance at, probably. But maybe I don't know. But the thing is it's to live life and to not try is failure. Like you really fail if you don't try.
Right.
And I tell the bands, like we have the opportunity to throw 10 lines in the water to catch a fish here. Mm-hmm. So let's try for the 10 venues instead of just that one, like we'll get a show,
Yeah.
So it's always like playing the odds and stuff. And I'm not really a gambler either, but like, it's just an interesting balance for me. And yeah, I have gotten into growing rare fruits. That's been a big fucking hobby kind of mine that's gotten pretty big into what I do with my spare time, if you will. Mm-hmm. And we have some land that we bought up north with an old apple orchard planted in 1853 on the Oregon Trail. It's amazing. And so I've planted a lot of trees and stuff up there, and I'm really into collecting like rare apple trees. This year I'm geeking out on like pink flesh and red flesh. Like you cut them open, they're like red inside or pink inside. I think that's super cool. And they have different flavors, and they have berry flavors and stuff in an apple, which is strange. But so yeah, I've been really into that. I like to do apple breeding. I like to like pollinate flowers and grow the seeds out in a new variety and shit like that too, which is essentially like, not kids, but it's, you're making new things. And it's kind of an Easter egg that you take a long time to open. It might take 8 years for that fruit. So it's a good test of patience for me, who doesn't have good patience to do these long-term projects, but it's a way for me to relax and like unwind. It's a quieter time and place where I go to do that. So I like to go there, in the warm months, so like May to November. I'm up there every few weeks for a few days. And check mostly for irrigation purposes, because in the West it's dry. It doesn't rain in the summertime, so everything will die here. So you have to irrigate. It's very difficult to irrigate hundreds of fucking trees with solar stuff. You're never there. And, so it's a lot of different challenges, and it tests me. There's fucking bears and mountain lions on our property. I mean, like the first time I slept there alone, I was fucking terrified, dude. Right. Like I have a Belgian Shepherd and a German Shepherd and stuff too, and I have a gun and everything else. But like, it's a little scary, dude. Be in the middle of the fucking woods. There's no one around. Like, you're hearing shit. Like, fuck, dude. Like, so and there's been a few moments, but it's sometimes you have to test yourself. You have to push yourself into the unknown. You have to, if you really want to do something, like there's times where I really want to do something and I realize it wasn't for me, and I'm going to give a good example of that. So and right now I'm a little bit out of shape. I need to get better in shape, and so like this is not going to be the way I do it, right? But like before, I had the same time, like 10 years ago, I was like, I want to get better shape. We were starting to do these runs, like not half marathons, but like 10K and stuff, like good runs. And in the Bay Area, they have this escape from Alcatraz. So like, this is like, they have these tourist ferry kind of boats that go right to the edge of Alcatraz. And these fucking people all jump in the water, in the ocean, like bay, seawater, and they swim to San Francisco. It's like a mile and a half. Right. It's like what the guys did supposedly when they broke out, right? The water's 50 degrees, degrees, freezing fucking cold. And and the old timers are like, oh, there's no great whites in the bay. They don't like to come in the bay because it's brackish and fucking the gold The great whites don't come in the bay. You'll find leopard sharks, which are little. Leopard sharks are pretty little sharks. They're not going to hurt you. Nurse sharks are not going to hurt you. A couple other kinds of sharks you find, not a big deal. And when you're fishing out there, you will catch these occasionally and stuff like that. There's halibut, which is the main fish, but so like I'm telling my buddy, who's like a long distance hiker guy, Chris, I was like, I want to do the escape for Alcatraz, fucking blah, blah, blah. I was telling him about, I'm going to train, and fucking, he's all, fuck that. He's all, did you see the video from, the seal getting destroyed right there where they drop the people off? I'm all, no. He gets on the YouTube, and you guys can look this shit up. You don't believe me. And it's like the Park Service has this like camera sitting on like where the little ships come in from, just go drop tourists off to the Alcatraz island in the bay. And then, and so there's just a security cam. They release it. And so like people get off the little boat, and you see just in the background little seals swimming around, and fucking bam, blood everywhere. Dude, shark goes up, the classic smack. Really? The people, holy shit, the water everywhere, blood everywhere, dude. That's like where the race starts. I was like, oh man, okay, I'm out. Fuck that. I'll get in shape a different way. So that's my story. Once again, so I don't do everything I want to do, but
listen, once again, I do not believe all this is what. Oh, they're not here. Bullshit. It's water. They swim wherever the hell they want to. What are you talking about? That's what I'm telling you, man. I don't fuck around with this shit, man. Listen, no. And I saw that again.
It's like, dude, that was crazy as fuck. So I haven't been in the water there ever since. And, I mean, in college, it's Sonoma State. Like there was a dude that got tagged by a shark up there, at the Salmon Creek, the Salmon Beach, Salmon Creek. And, that pretty much ended my surfing career, and like I have like a, great white shark tattoo, like from that memory of like, don't fucking do this, Oh my goodness. And one of our good Brazilian friends is a surfer, and the surfer next to him got killed by a tiger shark. And
really,
I think this tiger or a hammerhead nailed the dude up in the north of Brazil and killed the dude like in front of him, right in front of him. So it's like, I'm good on that.
I am good.
Yeah,
I will watch. I remember going to Myrtle Beach with some friends, very good friends of mine, the Carruthers. They live down in Tampa. And they're from Tampa. And we were at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, man. And I just remember going in the water and just sitting there at the edge, and just all of a sudden I just looked around, and I was like, out of all the times, because I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, I've been to the beach so much. Right. And I was just like, but I was young, but now it's like there's fish swimming all around me.
Yeah.
Little ass fish. Man, I hopped my big ass about that. I was like, man, no more. I'm good. I'll go fit. I love to go fishing, but I'm not getting in the water. Not actually in the water. No. Especially the ocean, man. I watched too many Mutual Omaha, Wild Kingdom, David Attenborough. Yeah. My grandson and I would just watch. That's the shit I love. That lets me know I'm not getting in there at all. At all.
There's a lot of scary shit in the ocean. Yeah.